Welcome to Play by Play Sports. Today is January 30th, and it is part 2 of my 2025 NFL mock draft, picks 11 through 20. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so jumping right into it today, I'm just going to go through picks 11 through 20. In my prior video, I went through the first 10. In that one, I just did the first round, and then I kind of decided to change it up and do like the first 3 rounds. I do it on PFF, and I'm not subscribed, so it stops me at 3, and I also can't do any trades since I'm not subscribed. So these are all without any trades. But again, this is just 11 through 20, and this is kind of my thoughts on what the teams could do. It's subject to change here. As more stuff comes out, players are going to separate themselves. So, again, when it gets closer, I'll probably go back and do these picks again. But for now, we're just going to run with this. I'm in no means also an expert. These are kind of just my thoughts here. So you can, tell me that I'm really wrong down in the comments. That's fine. Again, it's just kind of my thoughts here. But I'm going to pull up the pictures or my screenshots up here of what I did. So starting with the 49ers, the first round, they're number 11. I have them taking Josh Simmons from Ohio State's tackle. He's projected. He's PFF big board number 12. They kind of need tackle help, so I thought he's the best available. They're at 11. We might as well take him. Going to round 2, 43rd overall, Omar Norman Lott, defense tackle from Tennessee. And then third round, I don't know if Walker's going to make it to the third round. I think he'll probably go before the third round, but I have the 49ers taking Walker from Kentucky, another defense tackle. And then third round, 99, I have the 49ers taking guard. I'm probably going to say his last name wrong, but Tate Ratledge from Georgia, guard. I have them taking him at 99. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts of what they could do. They need offensive line help, and they need defensive line help. Again, they'll probably make some trades, or they could go a different way, maybe take a defensive end instead of 2 defensive tackles. But that's kind of what I thought there. Again, it'll be up here so you can look at it, and you can drop your thoughts down there too of what you think. I know there's a lot of mock drafts going around. Mine could be not very good or accurate, but that's kind of my thoughts on what the 49ers might do. So that's that one. And then moving on here to the Cowboys. Again, probably going to say his name wrong, but right away, just kind of my thoughts. Truthfully, I think the Cowboys are currently a mess of an organization. Their head coach hiring, I'm not quite sure what they're thinking there. But, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to hire an offense coordinator that wasn't even really calling plays. But it's Jerry's world, and we're all living in it. But anyway, again, it's going to be up here. I'm going to try to attempt his name here. Emek Egbuka. That sounds not right. Receiver from Ohio State at 12. And then this is probably a bit of a reach. I think he'll probably go more third round. But I'm going to have them take Cam Skattebo from Arizona State. Everybody got to see him, go to work in the playoffs. He helped Arizona State, win the Big 12 championship. They almost beat Texas. They should have. I kind of thought they should have beat Texas, but they didn't. He was right there. This guy is definitely a hard worker. He's a grinder. I think the Cowboys will take him. They need help at running back. And if he's available, you might as well try not to pass on him. I know it's a pretty deep running back class, but that's who I have the Cowboys taking with their second round pick. And then going to the third round, Josiah Stewart from Michigan, defensive end. I have them taking him at 76 in the third round. I don't have a ton of information on him, but I know he was the best available at the time when I did this mock draft. I'm going to try to read up and get some more information on these guys so it doesn't sound like I'm just reading off names kind of like it is right now, but those are kind of what could happen here. Obviously there's different guys with Senior Bowl going on right now. Guys are going to start separating themselves a little bit, and then the combine coming up, they'll even more so separate from each other. So again, things can change here, but that's just my thoughts on what the Cowboys might do. They have CeeDee Lamb. Adding another weapon could help out their offense. Also, again, with Cam Skattebo, I think that would help Dak a lot. Giving somebody the ball, having a reliable running back to hand the ball off to, I think will help. Staying healthy would also help. Maybe not have getting rid of Mike McCarthy would have helped. I just saw today that he wanted a 5-year deal, and Jerry only wanted to give him 3, so they went their separate ways or whatever. I think the Cowboys made a huge mistake getting rid of Mike McCarthy, but it is what it is. Okay, so that was my Cowboys mock draft. Moving on to the Dolphins. Here we go. Let's see, I'm going to pull it up here. Again, I'm going to just throw it up right there so you can see it. Okay, so picking 13th in the first round, I have Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan. They needed defensive line help. So, best available, I think Grant will probably end up going to Miami. I don't know, if you need defensive line help and he's there, take him, because it is a little early. I know he's projected like 19 here, it says. But, if you desperately need defensive line help, I think he would be the best one to take. Moving on, Xavier Watts, safety from Notre Dame. Again, best available. I think both of those guys are great defensive players. I think they'll help out the Dolphins a ton. It's kind of a quick run through of my thoughts here. And then picking at third round, 98, Donovan Jackson, tackle from Ohio State. Again, you need to build up that offense line in Miami. I think he'd be the best available if he's there. Help protect Tua, help the run game and the pass game. You have to definitely protect your franchise quarterback that you've given loads of money to, and he's already has had a numerous amount of concussions. So I think that would be the best move for them if he's there in the third round. Okay, so that was quick with the Dolphins. Moving on to the Colts. Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State, best tight end in the class. I think he'll be the only tight end that goes in the first round. He made that very apparent that he's a great tight end during the playoffs. So he's projected close to this at 13 on here. I think he'll end up going to the Colts. I don't know any other team in the first round that would take a tight end besides Colts. So I think he'd be a huge weapon for the Colts if they can figure out their quarterback position. Moving on, corner from Iowa State, Darren Porter. Again, it was kind of best available. They need defensive back or corner help there, so I took him at 45 in the second round. Again, feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. That's fine. This is kind of just my first initial thoughts on what these teams might do. I did take best available guys here to try to fit their team's needs. So hopefully everybody understands that I'm not saying these guys, this is exactly what's going to happen here. But, I think if these guys are available at this time in the draft, if he's going to fit your scheme, take him. Moving on to the third round, 80th pick, Dillon Gabriel. Okay, this is my thought on this. Right now, the Colts have some quarterback problems, which they need to get figured out. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is the answer in Indy. I don't think he's going to be the answer for the Colts. He's had injury problems and then problems off field as well with the team. I think they took a big chance on him when they drafted him. He had a big arm, which, when you're desperate for a quarterback, you kind of do what you have to do, which they did. I think Dillon Gabriel can be a really great quarterback in the right system. I think he can be a really good NFL quarterback if he's in the right system with the right coach, and then also maybe being able to learn behind a quarterback like a good vet. I don't know if the Colts will take him. At a third round pick is truly not a ton. I guess if he's your backup for a few years, then it kind of is what it is. You're not asking a ton here from him. It's not like you're going to start him unless you absolutely have to late in the season. But I think since he's played so many games in college, he's got a ton of experience. Maybe he doesn't have great arm talent down the field type of arm talent, but I think he has a really great understanding of football. I think he can be a great NFL quarterback in the right situation. So that's kind of why I took him here. Having such an unstable quarterback room in the NFL is not great, and the Colts kind of have that. So they might want to try to find some stability there if they think Gabriel can develop right and be a good NFL quarterback, which I kind of think he can be. But you can tell me your thoughts down there in the comments. Okay, so yep, that was that one. So moving on to 15, the Atlanta Falcons. Again, these are just my thoughts, best available. with not a ton of information out on these guys right now. I mean, there's highlights that people can watch and other things like that. And obviously, professionally done mock drafts. I'm in no means a professional. I'm just doing this for fun. So I just did best available. Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. The two needs that the Falcons needed here are corner and linebacker. So I did that. I took him at 15. And then linebacker, I'm going to butcher his name, Carson Swinsinger, I think, close, maybe, I don't know, from UCLA, linebacker. He's projected 48, and I took him at 46. Again, these don't involve any trades at all. And I'm just going off the best of my knowledge currently at what I think might happen. So again, this could be very wrong, and Falcons fans could be like, "Why are you taking either of these guys? We don't want them," or whatever. It's just for fun and to my knowledge here. So that's who I took at 15 and 46 for the Falcons. Moving on, Cardinals at 16. Right away, I think they need tackle help to help that offense line and protect Kyler Murray. So Calvin Banks Jr. from Texas, offensive tackle. He could go earlier, or they may pass on him and he could go later. Again, we don't know. But just best available. I kind of reached here at 47. Tyler Booker, guard from Alabama. He'll probably go a little later, but I took a guard just because, again, they need offense line help. And they could, sign some free agents and make those kinds of moves in free agency. So that's kind of what I did there. And then next, moving on. Oops, sorry, phone call. Derek Harmon from Oregon, defensive tackle. He's projected 86 or number 86 on the big board. I took him at 78 because they need defensive line help. Again, I thought best available there for him. For the Cardinals, again, drop your thoughts down in the comments. That's fine. If these are all wrong and stupid, that's okay. This is the first time I'm going through it. It's subject to change, like I said, so it'll probably change, and that's okay. So these are kind of just my thoughts here for the Cardinals. Moving on to 17 to the Bengals. We have Malik Williams from Georgia, defensive end. I think he's one of the better defensive ends in this draft class. I think with Mike Green showing that he can absolutely steamroll offensive tackle, I think he'll probably go in the top 10. I think next best available is Malik Williams from Georgia. Moving on, I took Xavier Repesto, that's not right, but from Miami, receiver. They need receiver help with Jamar Chase. Unsure of what's happening there. I think you take him just to shore up the receiver room, or you take a receiver at this point. If they don't like Xavier here and they find someone else they like after the combine, they may take a receiver in the second round. So that's kind of just my thoughts. They probably won't take Xavier here in the second round, but again, it's just kind of my thoughts of what's going to happen. And then moving on to the third round, we're going to shore up that offensive line and take a guard. I have them taking Tate Ratledge from Georgia. I probably, again, said his name wrong, but whatever. You have to keep your franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow, healthy. And I think the Bengals, since Joe Burrow's been drafted, have had offensive line problems. So I think taking an offensive lineman in the third round makes the most sense here. Um, you know, Currently he was the best available for what I had, so I took him at 81 in the third round. So that's the Bengals. Moving on to the Seahawks at 18. We're just going to take one of the other better defensive ends here, Jack Swear from Ohio State. Basically saved Ohio State's playoff season, helped them win a national championship, got that fumble recovery for a touchdown against Texas, and then basically the rest is history. I think he's a stud coming off the defensive end. I think if he's available at 18, I think they should take him. He's probably he's again one of the better defensive ends in this class. I can't see him going, honestly, past 20 because right behind them are the Buccaneers and they need defensive help. So I think they take him. Yeah. Moving on to the second round, Jalon Walker from Georgia linebacker. Again, they need defensive help. So that's who I thought would be best available at this point. Again, I think it's a pretty deep linebacker class. I could be wrong, but that's who I had them take. And then moving on, they're going to help shore up that offensive line and take Marcus Malbo. Yeah, sounds right. Tackle from Purdue. I think they needed a guard, and I think, if I'm correct, I clicked on his profile, and I think he had played guard prior to the Purdue moving him to tackle. I think that was earlier in his career at Purdue. So if the Seahawks really wanted and he was available, they could take him and move him back to guard. I think that would probably be a tougher transition, especially in the NFL. But if they think they can make it happen, he's available and he's there. That's who I have them taking. Moving on to the Buccaneers at 19. Shamar Stewart, defensive end from Texas A&M. Again, just like I said, the Seahawks need defensive end help. So Tampa Bay is going to take Stewart again. Another one of the better defensive ends in this class. Best available. Moving on, I got Chris Paul Jr., linebacker from Ole Miss. And then Nick Immanwori from South Carolina. What a heck of a name. Best available again. Safety. The Bucs need a lot of defensive help. So that's who I have them taking in the first 3 rounds. And then at 20, the Broncos, they made the playoffs. They finally found their franchise quarterback in Bo Nix. Sean Payton's got him, firing on all cylinders. They met a tough team in Buffalo who's been in the playoffs numerous times. Obviously it's not quite the Broncos' time yet, but I think they're coming, and I think they're going to be causing some problems in the AFC West if they can get this year's draft right, and then free agency. I think they're going to cause a lot of problems, as long also the Chargers as well. But um, this is who I have them taking: Matthew Golden, receiver from Texas, uh, best available there. It was kind of a toss up at that point where receiver. I think they need receiver help a lot. Cortland Sutton, he's getting older. Jerry Jeudy, he's out. Denver. So get a receiver. Give Bo Nix a weapon and throw the ball to. I think he was best available. And then I'll throw up the other picture I have here, just showing kind of his grades here. Harold Flan Jr., tight end, Bowling Green. I think they need to shore up that tight end position. The grades show that he's great at. Pretty much he grades the best in receiving and offense. His blocking or his run blocking grades not great, but again, I can put it up here so you can see if you want to argue about this. I did reach for him, and I think personally they're not going to get Warren from Penn State, and they need tight end. I think reaching a little in the second round for Flan Jr. here from Bowling Green, who I've never even heard of, is a smart move for Denver. In the first two rounds, you get Bo Nix, two weapons to help your offense. And then in the third round, you help out your defense with Jeffrey Bassa here from Oregon, linebacker. I mean, again, Broncos fans can tell me that I'm wrong and that this is stupid and I don't know anything, and that's totally fine. I could be completely wrong here, but I also did say last year that Bo Nix was going to be a steal in the draft, and I mean, pretty sure he was a steal in the draft. He went after Michael Penix Jr., who barely played, and yeah, he's already got his team in the playoffs. So I think, I might have called it, but I could be wrong. So this was my, picks 11 through 20 of my first mock draft here. Again, this is subject to change. You can all tell me that I'm very wrong, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I'm going to make the next video, I think Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday, honestly. So I have more time to make the picks of the last parts of this year's draft. And then I'll go back and do some other stuff. But this is kind of just a quick run through, and again, my thoughts of what these teams might do if these guys are available at these positions that they're at. But again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.